Welcome to the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. This is one of our multifamily brief episodes. So first of all, a quick apology for people who, have understood the routine. We've been releasing episodes Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for, the last 2 years. The last couple of weeks, I've slipped up a little bit and, got myself extremely busy, but just wanted to talk a little bit about that busyness and, hopefully give people a couple of tips on what to do when they get super busy. So, I've got a couple of irons in the fire. You're always working on doing more, which, may be a disorder or a problem. My wife thinks it is. I was called a workaholic last week by someone else. So I figured, maybe I need to work on that. But end of the day, basically what I'm doing, I think most people who listen to the podcast know that I've started my one-on-one coaching program, which has taken a fair amount of time. I was spending more time, hopping on calls with potential clients than actually coaching. And so that was, I guess the sales and marketing part of that was really sucking up a lot of time. But, I'm at the point right now, we've signed up 18 clients and I've only got room for a couple of more. I'm not going to spend, too much time, looking for new clients right now. I'll probably open it up a little bit later, but like I said, room for two more. 20 is kind of like that sweet magical spot that I wanted to hit. The other thing that I've been doing is working on, building the foundation for Streamline Capital Group, which is my new company that was actually my old company that's now my new company again. It was the first LLC I ever established. I think I established it back in 2018. And, when I joined a partnership with Four Oaks several years ago, I let that LLC just kind of lapse. But anyway, in the last year, dug it back up again, made it current. And I think a lot of people who've been listening know I hired Schuyler Shoemaker. He's my director of acquisitions, and he's doing an amazing job. We put an LOI out last week, which was our first one together, which is also, something I'm proud of. But we're building that brand. We got big goals. I want to get to 2,000 units by the end of 2025. Cumulatively up to right now, I've done 1,100. Been GP in 1,100, spearheaded a handful of those. But anyway, the goal is, for Streamline Capital Group to have 2,000 units by the end of 2025. And, I really mean it when I say, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. We're still buying right now. We're still looking to buy. And I know a lot of people are on the sidelines, but I think most people are predicting that the market's going to drop a little bit or keep sliding a little bit. In most areas, it has slid, but who knows where that bottom's going to come? I mean, the only way you can figure out where the bottom is 3 years from now, looking in the rearview mirror, right? But I believe strongly if you have a longer term outlook, then every time is a great time to buy. I'm going to go back to what my friend Bruce Fraser said at a conference about a month and a half ago. I think he said if he went back to the peak of real estate in 2007 before that big crash, and that was a crash. Right now, I don't think we're anywhere close to a crash with real estate, but he said he'd still, knowing what he knows now, go back and buy everything he could get his hands on, because over time, time is going to be the biggest thing that leads to generational wealth. You buy, you hold, and you just keep on rolling. So that's definitely part of my plan is to start to buy more and more and more real estate. And so like a lot of my focused efforts have been with Streamline, trying to get that up and running. Schuyler is awesome, but he came in with not a whole lot of real estate experience, had all the other skills. And then we're looking to hire a director of investor relations, got a bunch of applications out there, which has also kept me extremely busy. But once I get that person in place, it's actually going to take a lot of things off of my plate, okay, which is going to make me less busy, And then the third thing is, we partner with a lot of people who bring in deals, so I'm constantly reviewing deals, and I've reviewed a lot of deals over the past month from newer syndicators, people who come on the show as aspiring investors. And, we're looking to find good people that are partners and who can be long-term partners. So, along those lines, like I said, I've probably been working, 10 to 12 hour days, which is much more than I want. And, my goal, and I'm just putting this out there, my goal for the next couple of months is to hire the right people, put them in place, offload a lot of the stuff so I can start focusing on what I need to do and where the most bang for the buck is for my activities. And, one of the exercises that I'm going through is from a book called Traction. Well, it's in several of the books, by Gino Wickman, the EOS series, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll show you the book. That's what it looks like right there. But anyway, it's a great book and it's a great system. And I guess one more plug, I'm actually hired an EOS implementer, or I like to call him a business coach, to help us go through that. So that's also kept me busy. And like I said, we're looking for structure, setting up a structure for a business that can eventually get to 10,000 or 20,000 units. I think the structure is more important, just like the foundation of a building, right? But one of the exercises he's putting me through, and I think this is very helpful for anybody else who is struggling with time constraints or time concerns. All right. The exercise is called Delegate and Elevate. You write down everything that you're doing or everything that you need to be doing or should be doing, everything that's on your various plates. And once you have it all written down in a list, you start transferring things to a 4-quadrant list. Quadrant 1 is things you like doing and you're good at. All right. All the way down to quadrant 4, things that you hate doing and you're terrible at. Okay. So when you start looking at all of those, what do you offload first? The things that you hate doing and you're terrible at, that's the obvious answer. And for some people, if you have the finances to be able to hire somebody outright, I didn't 5 years ago when I started in this multifamily game, but I do now. Then you hire somebody. If you don't, you can figure out a way to offload it. Okay. Virtual assistants. I mean, it's a cheap way to hire somebody. You can go on Fiverr or Upwork, whatever you're doing, you can find somebody to offload these tasks to. And in some cases, it might be, find a partner. If you're working solo, and, it's like, I'm trying to find deals and I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to network and to find partners at the same time. And I'm trying to raise capital. Maybe your focus for the next little while should be, networking and finding a partner. And if you network and find a partner, then you can get a lot of that stuff off your plate by, a partnership agreement, delegating to a partner in that case. But, end of the day, the goal for me is to get back to a 40-hour work week, which would make my wife extremely happy, but getting back to a 40-hour work week without, dropping things off my plate. So anyway, we should have some big announcements. I'm interviewing about a dozen people for the investor relations job this week. I'm not taking any more applications right now, but we got plenty of candidates, but there's lots of people that we are going to be looking for in the future. So if you're interested, reach out. Most of the jobs I want to be local to Salt Lake City. However, there's always a couple of things that we can, like somebody who's really good at marketing. I'm getting a marketing intern in July, but I'll probably eventually hire somebody to be on our marketing team, and they don't necessarily, some of the jobs don't necessarily have to be local. Anyway, that's it for today. Biggest thing, everybody gets busy. Everybody has a lot on their plate, and the question comes down to, where do you most effectively spend your time? And one more thing that I actually had on my list to talk about that I just realized I missed is the Pareto principle. When we start looking at your Delegate and Elevate exercise, one thing I'd like to keep in mind, the Pareto principle basically says that 80% of the outcomes or returns are generated by 20% of your efforts. So 20% of your inputs generate 80% of your outputs. Okay. It's true in profit. It's true pretty much in anything. So when you're looking at the Delegate and Elevate pile, make sure that the 20% activities that generate 80% of your results end up being well taken care of, whether it's something that you keep for yourself, but make sure that ends up being, part of your calculus or part of your thought process when making the decision on how to get certain things off your plate. Anyway, now that's it for today. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you later. Hey, if you like that episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you haven't joined our multifamily educational community, the Tribe of Titans yet, you are missing out. So get yourself 30 days free by clicking the link below in the description, or go to thetribeoftitans.info, and we'll see you there.